What's up everybody, it's your boy Duplace here and we're back with some more YouTube reactions, and today we're checking out yet again another Steam Frame video. Valve's VR always looks better than we thought. He's going into deep discussion about the Steam Frame, more details about it essentially, but before we get into this, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. My socials are in the description, and with that being said, let's get into it.
How are you all? Hey guys, how are you all doing? Mam nadzieję, że macie się wspaniale. I'm Mystical, and
My
today I'll
ass
be giving you the
hurts.
latest in AR and VR news. However, just before we jump into this one, a super quick piece of information about the second channel, the one that is auto-dubbed in English and the one that is originally in Polish, will be dubbed by me in English so that you don't have to listen to the crappy YouTube auto-dub voice. But anyway, second video up on that channel where we hack the Echo Dot. So in case that's something that interests you guys, how we managed to root the thing, get all of this animation stuff running with Home Assistant, do make sure to check that out down below. Okay, now with that out of the way,
I love
we've
his
got
setup,
some
very beautiful.
Super interesting piece of information today. 7 to be specific, 7 topics we're going to be talking about. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, the most interesting piece of information, the Steamworks documentation. As Valve has officially released the Steamworks, the developer documentation for the Steam Frame. So let's begin with that. As if you look between the lines
Interesting. We're getting technical with it. Yes. Let's get into it. Why did I pause just now?
Pretty much everything. Well, except for the price and the
You know, quick interjection and a bit unrelated, but I've found, you know, as an aspiring content creator, I really do have to, like, if I see a video that's interesting, and I did this very thing a couple of hours ago. I saw a video that I actually recorded prior to this. I believe it was the Steam Frame architecture video I did a couple hours ago when we're talking about the translation layers. Yeah, that video I recorded earlier today. Yeah, I saw it in my feed and I was like, yep, not even watching this, put it to watch later. I'm reacting to this. That's something I really have to be doing going forward, but I won't bore you guys with that. Let's get back into it.
The docs confirm once and for all that the headset runs SteamOS.
It looks so pretty.
It's not like we didn't know this already, but SteamOS is based on Arch Linux. So this does go with the fact that you will have full access to Arch Linux and its desktop inside the Steam Frame. More on that in a little bit. The second thing here is the Deckard confirmation. So yeah, we've had leaks and rumors about Deckard for the longest time. I don't think we've had Valve actually mention the word Deckard inside their promotional footage or anything like that. But here we can actually see that word inside the documentation. So Pacman, being the package manager for Arch Linux, sudo pacman-s deckard-mesa-android-debug. So in case there was still any doubt whatsoever about the codename for this headset being Deckard, that's your proof. The third is the big one. We have full root access. Again, this is Linux, so I'd be surprised if we didn't. That and Valve is moving along with their philosophy of essentially making all of their devices completely open. The docs list a command, sudo steamos-read-only disable. This means you can disable the read-only file system. You can have full root access.
You know, I don't even remember what that does. Well, he said full root access. I used to root Android devices back in the day, like the early 2010s. And that pretty much gave you access to system level stuff. I don't remember why I wanted to do it though. I think to boost like the clock speed of the phone so I could run certain games. That's when I had old ass phones that couldn't run the games I wanted it to run. But I have better hardware now, so yeah, that's not a need or something I'm even interested in doing anymore.
System files. You can also sudo pacman install any Arch Linux package. That does mean you should theoretically be able to install things like Discord, Spotify, and basically all the other things that we've been waiting years for to appear on other platforms. Here, you should just have access to that. That is, as long as those packages natively support Arch 64. If they don't, well, you're going to have to go through maybe some more painstaking process. Fourth, we've got Windows games via Proton. Again, this was a very big thing when we were talking about the Deckard, and
this is the only preview we've ever gotten of like what it looks like inside the headset. Man, I can't wait to just sit in my room or wherever I am. Worse if I'm like traveling and I just put this on and I get to go crazy. Man, we need a bigger battery pack as well. We need like, I'm sure there'll be some way to plug in an external battery, but I don't know. I feel like around the entire back of the head, you could fit an 80 watt hour battery here. I think the one in the Steam frame is what? Hold on. How big is Steam frame battery? I don't remember the watt hours. I think it was 21.6. Right. So it's not even 40. They can definitely fit a 40 watt hour, but this is tiny. This is literally less than half of what's in the Steam Deck OLED. So yeah, even, bro, an 80 watt hour battery would be like a guaranteed 4 hours of like at full performance to at full power, 4 hours. Yeah, somebody's gonna mod the battery for this. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll probably participate in it.
A lot of people still don't get to this very day. This thing
I love the UI,
has
though.
a native desktop. It can run these titles. No, I'm not saying it can run them well. After all, this is a headset that still has a mobile CPU. It doesn't have a GPU like your typical desktop would, but it does have a Linux desktop, and it does have Proton, meaning that you can run them. How well? We're not entirely sure of that yet, but you bet that if it can run them, people are going to make mods in order to make them run well. Plus, if people are desperate enough, they will run Half-Life Alyx even at 144p. Not that I'm saying it will run at 144p here, hopefully it will run higher, but we will see. This is all native, by the way. No computer, no wirelessly streaming from anything. Yes, that is apparently its primary purpose, but it doesn't need it in order to do this, which is why it's such a big deal.
I'm definitely going to be using it primarily as a standalone device, for sure. As for streaming, I'll probably plug it into my trusty old laptop here, which isn't even that high-end. This is an entry-level gaming laptop by today's standards, but still more powerful than the frame, so...
Something we haven't had in a headset to date. We've all been on locked down Android with bootloader locking, no root access, no fun. Well, the fun starts now. And talking about fun, we've got Lepton, which is its Android compatibility layer that is native on the headset. As a matter of fact, the headset can apparently emulate an Android device if you plug it in via USB, allowing for USB debugging and sideloading of APK packages, which is pretty crazy.
Yes, sir.
That is also pretty crazy. I don't know what that is. Whose alarm sounds like that? This means that, theoretically speaking, someone might make some sort of compatibility layer in the future that will allow you to run Quest games on the deck card. Now, this doesn't sound like it would be very legal, so let's just err on the side of caution there and don't pirate games, obviously. But hopefully it'll make it a lot easier for developers to be porting their games from Quest to the deck card. So developers, in my eyes, this is more for you than for anyone else.
I imagine a lot of games will get ported. With all of the translation layers that we have in place, I'm pretty sure at its core, a lot of those games for Quest are APKs, so they're at their core Android apps. They probably have some like whitelist code in it to say only run on this hardware identifier, so they're probably locked to the Quest. I'm not entirely sure, I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure they're Android apps at their core. They're APKs, so they can be sideloaded. But official support is always nice.
All, however, as the documentation actually goes quite deep. And it will obviously be down in the description for you in case you want to look through all the tabs. But to give you a little bit more, it gets even better for developers, or anyone who actually wants to sideload games. The documentation reveals how the SteamOS dev kit client actually works, and it basically confirms this is a universal soldier of headsets. When you upload a game,
slightly unrelated, but I hope we can change the backgrounds. I'm pretty sure that's something they'll allow us to change the backgrounds. Yeah, I want to have like, and it would be nice to have custom 3D backgrounds too. You know, kind of like how on Steam, when you buy a game, you get points and you can spend it on animations or avatars or profile pictures or backgrounds. Yeah, we need something like that. so we can have different 3D environments.
There is a
That would be
drop-down
really
menu
nice.
for the runtime. You can literally choose between Steam Linux Runtime for native Linux games, Steam Play, which is Proton to run Windows exe titles, or Android in case you want to install APK files.
You see that? You see the wide range of software we can run? Hold on, let me go back a bit.
Native
I need to
Linux
hear that
games,
again.
Steam Play, which is Proton to run Windows exe titles, or Android in case you want to install APK files. You don't need different emulators or any weird ways of installing them. The headset just handles the three natively. We also get a major clue about the power of this thing. The setup guide states that the headset requires a minimum of 27 watts to charge while playing.
Okay. So when he's 27 watts while playing. Well, that would imply that it can use up to 27 watts at full load. Well, no, it wouldn't be that. It would actually be a little bit more. A little bit less, because it would need to provide more power than it's draining to charge. If it's providing just as much power as it is draining, then the percentage isn't going to change. It's not going to decharge, but it's not going to discharge, but it's not going to charge either. So it's probably like 21. It's probably, yeah, I don't think you would exceed the size of the battery. Well, the other handhelds do. Yeah, it's probably in the 20s. It's probably right there at 21. So like 1 hour at the max performance, a max power draw, an hour at least.
But they recommend a 45 watt adapter. For context, a Quest 3 usually draws much less power. And finally, we've got Remote Desktop. Valve isn't hiding the desktop here.
It's a lot less powerful, so that's to be expected. The Quest 3 I'm referring to. So it should draw less power.
How you can use XRDP to remote into the headset. Yes, you can actually remote into the headset instead of remoting into your computer from the headset. How crazy is that? The default username is SteamOS and the password is Frame. It's a PC on your face. This is why I'm so unbelievably excited for the deck card and cannot wait to see what people get going on this thing. Now, let's move on to the next piece of news. As while Valve is building a Linux powerhouse, the war for the standalone market is heating up. Following Meta's retreat from the third-party hardware, Google has officially picked up as the champion. Google has announced a multi-year extension to its partnership with Xreal, positioning them as the lead hardware partner for Android XR ecosystem. This is regarding Project Aura, the headset that we saw recently. We now have more specs, as it apparently has a 70 degrees field of view, uses a Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2, and offloads its computing to a puck, which a lot of people are actually going to be happy about, apparently. Interestingly, the puck looks like a smartphone, but doesn't have a screen. The entire surface is a trackpad for mouse-like input. Now that is a useful use of a puck. I mean, imagine it just essentially being a trackpad, but looking like a phone. That's pretty cool. You could probably also put a camera on it as well, and yeah, actually, that's pretty dumb. You already have cameras on your face and then just add more cameras to the puck. But yeah, now with Meta out of the game, you know, retreating away from their open horizon.
Don't know how I'd feel about that long dangling cord though, but I mean, hey, you need power to get to it somehow, so. And the fact that it's being used as a mouse, I guess, could trick your mind into forgetting that it's there and it's a nuisance, but hey, if it works, it works.
Xreal is basically becoming the Pixel of the AR glasses world. Quite interesting. Now, another little something that Meta is apparently retreating from, but not on their own accord, is selling Meta Ray-Ban display glasses in the EU. Now, theoretically, we didn't have a release date for these in the EU, and as a lot of you know, probably from our previous videos, these are being sold in limited quantities, or at least Meta doesn't seem to have enough components in order to build enough of them. Essentially, demand is higher than what they can produce. First off, the good news, as the neural band features are rolling out. If you are in the US, you are getting the handwriting recognition feature. This lets you write messages on any table or surface with your finger, and the wristband decodes the neural signals to type text. It sounds sci-fi, but it's really cool, and this is actually, I believe, the feature people were most excited about during Meta's event when we saw the neural wristband. Well, that feature is just coming out now, but hey, at least it's coming out. Now for the bad news. If you live in the UK, France, Italy, or Canada, you're going to
Did my video quality just drop? What the hell?
have to wait. Meta has officially delayed the international rollout of the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses and neural band to 2026. Now, it wouldn't be an AR and VR news video without some sort of chaos in the high-end headset market. Well, that's what we have here. First off, Pimax. They have begun shipping their Dream headset in small batches, but there's a catch, as the official head strap isn't actually ready, so they're shipping these out with a temporary head strap. I don't have one of these in my hands, but it seems the thing is so tiny that this temporary head strap might not actually be as terrible as it sounds. It's basically a fabric strap. They promise the proper 3D hard strap will ship later. Now, it might seem a bit amateurish to ship a high-end headset with a strap like this, but I do understand that Pimax wants to get these headsets out. And I believe once people try it on and see those 13.6 megapixel micro OLED panels, they might just be able to forgive the temporary head strap.
You know, as he's talking about VR headsets, something just occurred to me. Especially where he said micro OLED. Kind of like how we see backlight bleed on LCDs with regular like phones and tablets. Would we be able to see backlight bleed on VR LCD screens? I would think so, because that's what the Steam Frame has, LCD screens. I really would, in the future, love to see like an updated version of it with a newer chip. Kind of like how Apple, redesigned. Well, not redesigned. They just put the new chip in the Vision Pro. The first one had an M2, and then the updated one has an M5. So they would just need to put the new chip on the board and I guess change nothing else. Unless they see other things they want to improve. That's always welcome as well. I hope Valve does that. I hope they upgrade the chip over time. Steam Frame 2, Steam Frame 3, that type of thing. I hope we get past through Color Pass soon, the next one. That's my biggest issue with it so far. That and battery life. The fact that we don't get Color Pass 2 is a big
or they'll start manufacturing their own. Second, Shiftal. Remember Megan X? Well, Panasonic has officially ended its collaboration with Shiftal. Shiftal has been sold off and is now an independent company. Despite this breakup, they are launching the Megan X 8K Mark II. It's a 90Hz micro OLED headset that uses SteamVR tracking. It's good to see they survived the corporate split, but the high-end market is still looking like it's quite fragmented. It's essentially a bunch of different companies doing a bunch of different things. No one has yet entirely decided whether they want to go standalone, use SteamVR tracking, or what they're doing. I mean, even the Valve Frame has moved away from base station tracking, and yet other headsets are continuing to utilize the technology. Not that that's a bad thing, it's still the most accurate kind of tracking that we have, but it's just funny how the actual creators of said tracking have moved away from it, and other companies are continuing to use it. Now, onto some Quest leaks. It wouldn't be a news video without some Quest leaks. First off, surface typing. Meta is working on a feature that projects a virtual keyboard onto your real-world desk. You can calibrate the position, and hand tracking detects your key presses on the physical surface. This sounds way
I just realized something. It would be cool if the Steam Frame had that, which I don't think it does. I could be wrong, though. I don't think it does. And I know the Vision Pro has it, for sure. So I've seen this before. But it's really cool stuff.
Code suggests that remote desktop for PC streaming and HDMI link for capture cards are becoming combined into a singular app flow. Pretty cool. Luna on X has also found references to a fit adjustment feature for a device codenamed Phoenix, likely the next high-end Quest. It suggests the headset will be able to tell if you're wearing it correctly, similar to the Vision Pro. Honestly, probably the handiest feature out of all of them, if it works well, as quite a few people have issues putting on the headset correctly and adjusting it, whether it's IPD or whether it's the actual way the headset is sitting on your face. Every time someone new puts on a device, I have to explain to them how to wear it. It's a feature that would come in super handy for something like that. And
that looks so heavy.
Actually make first encounters a lot better. Let me know down below if you got that reference. And finally, we've got VR chat beating records.
You know, I have this game in my Steam library, and I can only imagine. I've never played it, but I can only imagine how fun it's gonna be when I finally get a Steam frame and I log in. Man, there are good times ahead.
They've started off 2026 with a bang. On New Year's Eve, they set a new concurrent user count of nearly 150,000 people online at once. This proves that despite what the naysayers are saying, social VR is growing fast. Now, yeah, there's gonna be debate about that one in the comment section. And for the hardware modders, if you love the comfort of the Apple Vision Pro but prefer the OS of the Quest, you're in luck, as apparently a new mod has been seen online. People have been doing this for a while now, but this one popped up on my feed, and people are modding the Apple Vision Pro dual knit band onto the Quest. So in case that's an aesthetic you enjoy, yeah, you can.
The Apple one does look really comfortable, I'm not gonna lie.
Whatever works,
it does.
and whatever is most comfortable. After all we want to do is wear the thing for as long as possible without it hurting our faces. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. If you like this one, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess this button works too, but let me know why down below. Make sure to check out the second channel video down below if you guys are into tech and hacking. Now, again, it is auto-dubbed in English, so my voice is going to sound super weird, but in case you're Polish, hopefully you can enjoy my voice in Polish. And I will make sure to do my very best to get the actual dub out ASAP. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone supporting the channel, whether you're a Patreon, whether you buy me a coffee, whether you're supporting through super chats or anything like that, or whether you're just watching. Seriously, much love. You are what makes all of this possible. And as usual, if you want to be notified of every content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you in the next video. Peace.
I mamy odpalone światła. I dzięki temu, jak mamy
Alright guys, that's it. That was my reaction to Steam Frame Deep Dive Breakdown. Let's see what the comments are saying. All I want is Beat Saber working standalone on Steam Frame. If they can do that, I'll be happy. I'll do VR chat on the Steam machine with streaming anyways. I feel like you should just do VR standalone on the Steam Frame. That game looks very simple to run. I'm not pressed about the streaming. I like the idea of running things natively off the hardware. I'm gonna install a web server on my Steam Frame just because I can. Finally, a VR headset that's literally just a laptop rather than a phone. Yeah, it's very Frankenstein hardware. It's using mobile chips with a desktop OS running Windows games. It's all over the place, everything just being combined into the best of whatever you could ever ask for. I can't wait to see how people could mod the hardware. I was speaking on this earlier where it pertains to the battery. I want to see it. I also like how much flexibility the PCIe slot brings. Want color pass-through added, mouth tracking added, so many other options. Yeah, I want to see that. Battery mods, color pass-through mods, mouth tracking. I don't really need that, but it's a cool addition. But anywho, I feel like I've done enough talking where it pertains to the comments. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I will see y'all in the next one, which will probably be gaming because I haven't been doing a lot of that. Goodbye.